Sunday.
Sunday.
A little busy May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Started off today lightsaber training with knives. Great session, by the way. The choreography for our duel is now essentially set. Like, we'll still let ourselves stay open to the idea of maybe adding or tweaking stuff once we kind of get it to the set, the physical place that we're actually going to fight. But the moves right now are good, and I'm pretty sure me and him could do that whole fight anywhere we wanted to if we tried.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit is nice. But you've been doing something else on our May the 4th, haven't you? You've been back somewhere. We've been wanting to get back there for a while. Everybody's been talking about getting back there for a while. It was said on this podcast.
Yeah.
On episode 5, when we feature that guy, Knives again. It's always fucking knives.
Valhemian Rhapsody. Yeah, I repaired Goose's house because he didn't actually have a roof.
Give them some context, Boots.
Okay.
They don't know what we're talking about.
It's a Valhemian Rhapsody. We're playing Valheim.
Yeah, give them real. You can't
Wait,
call
you
it.
think people don't know what Valheim is if they're a nerd listening? Listen.
Yes,
Valheim
I think we have listeners who don't know what Valheim is.
Minecraft. Yes. There you go. It's Viking Minecraft.
Thank you.
It's a survival game.
Survival game. Yeah, give them a genre.
In the Viking stratosphere, so you get to make your houses and such, and as the builder, I like to build the places that we're at.
Boots the Wanderer.
Mm-hmm. And so I was helping Goose with his roof because he stopped at a certain point, and instead of roof, he just built floor. Then he's like, why are my floors all wet? And it's because you don't have a roof. So I tore into him on Twitch. It was hilarious.
Y'all definitely got to bop by the Twitch and see us when we actually play these games. But Valheim is a game that we have history with. It came out... I need that lighter too so I can start sealing this. Came out first a couple years ago. I want to say it was in beta on PC.
Yeah.
Our guy, Nazoa, again, shout out to Nazoa, got a server going for us. And we were playing there. There were a handful of us that played that very first time around. I don't remember the full gang necessarily, but good handful. Fell off the game. People stopped really playing on PC like that. It was a PC game. Then, game came out again on Xbox. And it was on Game Pass.
Yep.
Double. So we got back in there again. That's when we established Hennyville. I did a lot of streaming of this particular playthrough of Valheim. So there are clips of Hennyville. And
That's
me
good.
rapping about Hennyville, too, like, all over the internet, if niggas want to find that. But, niggas don't be beating games all the time, and they be falling off. And so we kind of fell off the server. And for whatever reason, after, like, a whole season of paying for Conan twice as well, a different survival game, somebody was finally like, yo, I'm trying to play Valheim again. And we all was like... But that shit not on Game Pass no more, so niggas have to buy the game now. Are we gonna commit? And people were kind of wishy-washy. And then people was like, nah, let's go. So now, the village, Hennyvale, which was supposed to be Henny Valley, but then Knives on stream was typing in the chat and said Hennyvale, V-A-L-E. So now the town is Hennyvale. And the town consists of myself, Boots, Goose, Knives, Shay, Paco, TC, who pulled up to the village but has not made a house yet. And I want to say Smop was supposed to pull up, but I haven't seen Smop in the village yet. So I can neither confirm nor deny whether that man has actually been to Hennyvale. But we're having some fun. We do love Valheim. You can take that. And you can have fun with us on Valheim or just watch us stream Valheim if you pull up to either me or Boots' stream. I'm about to do my first stream back on Thursday. And I will be streaming Valheim. And it'll be on the capture card that Knives got me. So you guys will be able to look at my ugly mug while I play. Maybe look at my ugly mug. But at the very least, you'll have the soundboards. And I could do the beats. And I could do everything else. The sound alerts. All the little things in the chat. Everything. Everything's going to be on point on Thursday. So we'll get back to it. But we should get up to...
Which are pretty much the typical Zolo days for people in the future because this information will only be relevant for like a couple of days.
Oh, yeah, no. I stream every single Thursday. I don't know if we've said that before. I can say it again now, though, because I took off the end of April, which I usually do, because it's close to what, Boots?
Your birthday?
It's close to my birthday. It's in 2 fucking days. We didn't do free comic book day yesterday.
We did.
We should have. I haven't read a comic book yet either. I should have.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read mine either.
Damn, we supposed to have a whole
Court
comic
of
corner.
Owls,
Yeah.
But instead we had something else.
We did. We went to go see something. But before we talk about that, we should probably, you know, get this bus out and do the thing.
Welcome to the Cosmic Corner with Zolo and Boots.
I'm Zolo.
I'm Boots.
And this is the Cosmic Corner, our weekly app where we talk to you guys about games and movies or whatever else the fuck is relevant in our lives at the time. And sometimes we have friends on too. So, you know.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of rocket ship, a little bit of takeoff. Of course, we got the beater. You know.
We do.
Same old rocket ship that we always be taking. Taking good trips.
Calling it Balto. It's a Balato.
You definitely called it Balto last time. That shit was funny. But it's Balato. So it's literally the same even strain.
It's like a banana X OG strain or something like that.
It's going to be the strain for the next few pods, you guys. We usually cop and it lasts us like month?
Ish. Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah.
And we've been coming back
2 to 3 weeks.
during the week
yeah,
too.
because that's why it's been lasting longer.
That's been nice, you know. Stay with a sharp mind sometimes. Stay with a loose mind sometimes. Do what you gotta do sometimes, you know. Get the vibe. But on this week, we did do something comic book related and something Marvel related and had a really, really awesome fucking time.
Yeah.
What did we do, Boots?
We went and saw Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Thunderbolts. We did record it. That will be more last.
We record some initial thoughts, yeah. But it was a lot of emotions.
A lot of them.
Coming from seeing the movie. You would understand if you saw it.
Really good.
You should definitely go see it. It's a lot deeper. The movie's a lot deeper than you might think. Mm-hmm. It's pretty deep for a superhero movie as well. And it's given us a lot of different flavors that we haven't quite gotten with the MCU so far, at least insofar as how these people interact. Like, I guess I've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy sort of comparison of, like, the lovable misfits sort of situation. But, I don't know. Something about this is different.
On Earth level.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of what's different about it.
Yeah.
Because you can consider all the Guardians, like, killers.
Yeah.
That's what all these people kind of are, too. They're all killers.
Different type of situation, but yeah, definitely killers.
Before we get too deep into spoiler talk, let's just give some quick analysis and opinions on just the quality of what it was that we saw. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Loved it.
Loved it.
100% loved it.
Big loved it. For the next 5-ish minutes, we're going to try to keep this spoiler free. Give you guys some general thoughts, our general feelings. And then we're going to drop that spoiler hammer, and then we're just going to talk about the shit. So, like...
Yeah. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
But you'll be notified.
You will.
General thoughts? Like he's a military official. General thoughts?
Wow.
Colonel opinion? Yeah, I got zingers.
I am both feeling like, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted. But also at the same time, oh my god, I didn't expect it. And... I'm trying to say this as generally as possible because I will explain my reasonings. But the biggest one is, hell yeah. Hell yeah. My favorite thing was it felt both Marvel and not Marvel at the same time.
Is there any way you can kind of go deeper into that before we hit the territory? Yeah. Because it really felt like Marvel to me, for sure. But, and to me, it kind of felt like, nah, son, we're back in our bag type of Marvel. Like, really, it hit on all the notes that it needed to. It hit on the emotional factor, which you may not have expected. It definitely had punches of humor, but it wasn't like the humor was taking over. But it had the Marvel tone. It's definitely kind of in some different territory, but at the same time it really did feel like getting back to what makes these movies enjoyable. Yeah,
I liked that I'm gonna say that the topic that comes up is actually pretty serious without it making it seem so. That's how I'm going to say it generally.
Indeed.
To begin. But I like that it's still... The jokes didn't feel like they were there just to be jokes. I felt like the jokes were there because it was the heart of it. And I think that's what a lot of people had gripes with some Marvel stuff coming out, is it felt campy and jokey and just a little bit too much of like a certain formula.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Thunderbolts really encapsulated like kind of the beginning parts of Marvel, where, you know, it supplemented, but it didn't drive.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the Norman Osborn meme back to formula.
Back to formula? Yes.
But, like, yeah, no, I think I feel what you're saying about that. It definitely, again, it harkens back to kind of the original spirit of it, I want to say. It really did feel like it had action and humor and heart, and that all those things were really intertwined with the main narrative, and that the heart is really in the main narrative and in the characters and the journeys that they're taking together, the whole idea of not being alone, of being together. So that part of it was super dope. I was definitely feeling that. Crawl at the beginning.
Oh.
Goosebumps.
Yes.
Yes.
Brought it back.
Brought it back.
Brought it classic
different.
twist.
Mm-hmm. And then did a little more with it, you know what I'm saying? Seeing characters come back. We definitely got to see quite a few characters that we might have been wondering what they've been up to. I definitely feel like this one is doing the thing that the fans be mad that the ones don't do, which is like it's referring to the previous stuff, like almost immediately, and like letting you know, no, this is universe. We know what happened. We know you saw what happened. This is how what happened affects this right now, and like that's kind of what fans have been sort of clamoring for. I feel like they've been missing that with the greater Phase 4, Phase 5, and this one definitely gave you that connectedness. And it's got me intrigued about, you know, how the future unfolds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked how they didn't feel like they had to lean too heavily on characters that we've gotten plenty of development for. The biggest one that comes to mind is Bucky. Because Bucky's been around. Like, we don't have to explore deeper into Bucky because we've kind of seen the worst aspects of him. Like,
yeah, that's what the Falcon and the Winter Soldier really did, that especially for him.
I was going to say that, and Civil War, because we actually get to literally see those flashbacks of him being led through the super soldiers and, you know, killing Tony Stark's parents. Like,
yeah, we did get to witness that.
So I liked that. I think it was like a really good balance, because I'm sitting here thinking, if I didn't know anything about these characters and I just went into this movie to watch it, would I be able to follow it and enjoy it? And, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. I would like to say yes, but I do feel strongly that they kept this story like pretty, like they told this story well enough.
You totally can.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I do have a beef with the idea of not understanding that self-contained stories and stories that have legacy and are sequel and are a part of something bigger, that those ideas are mutually exclusive. Like, I feel like there's probably not any single movie that you could go watch that was a sequel or the third one, and having not seen the first one or the second one, and not at least enjoy the film and know what was happening right now. Mm-hmm. You don't always need to know exactly what happened yesterday or what that character was doing 2 years ago to really be like, but this is what they're doing right now.
Right.
You can just totally enjoy what they're doing right now. And if that intrigues you about the past, you would.
You could go back and watch it, be like, oh, you know what? I'm interested to know about Bucky. Like, you could.
At the same time, all of the characters that existed in the film, at a certain point, they did sort of give exposition on, like, what they had been up to.
The only one I would say kind of didn't get the most is probably Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
they still, I mean, you don't know exactly what she did during the last time that she appeared, but her backstory, which appeared in that movie, you do understand.
Yeah,
they
give you like a
so. Yeah, if you didn't know any of those people, you'd be fine. If you didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier / Captain America and the Winter Soldier, you'd still be fine.
Or
it's
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You'll still be fine. You'll always be fine. The story is going to tell itself, and you'll be able to enjoy the story. But it's always just better for us and deeper if you do know what they were up to before. If you did see that. So you can have a better connection, but like, don't ever feel like you have to see the first one. Just go.
It's also a very comic book thing, too, because I probably have brought this up before. Like, did you start on the very first comic book of Spider-Man?
No one ever in existence at this point has ever started on the first comic. What is the first comic?
Like, unless you were there as it was being released.
Even if you be about to get the first run of this new run of Spider-Man, that's not like the first Spider-Man. And there's going to be stuff in there that sort of refers to his greater history, whether you know it or not. So it's like, it's very comic book. Just enjoy the story.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can just enjoy it.
Thunderbolts!
Oh my God. You guys, was it the best Marvel movie of all time?
All time, no.
Was it the best Marvel movie since Endgame?
Top 5.
She said top 5.
It's up there.
She called top 5. That's
top
pretty,
5.
Is it one of the best since Endgame? The internet though is very
it's one
much
of the best.
very
top
much
3 since Endgame, because there's been
top
a lot
3
that's come out
since Endgame. There's been a decent amount, but the quality has been varying depending on who you ask. And Endgame is like a pinnacle. That's like hard to reach. Infinity War, Endgame. So best since Endgame doesn't mean as good as Endgame or anything like that. It just means like what's been the best. And I think the internet's consensus, at least when you look and you ask people, the one that comes up the most often is Spider-Man No Way Home as being the best MCU movie since Endgame. Do you think that's true?
I do, and I told you why. It's the early death. That death was later. I think that would have hit harder. Honestly,
that's really the one thing that doesn't put it above.
Like, if I got into this character and I'm like, damn, now this is my new character, and then they.
All right, don't go too deep. That's spoiler talk. Let's not get there. Okay, for me, as far as the allegations of best MCU movie since Endgame, I'm having a hard time saying that that's not the case. I'm looking at Spider-Man No Way Home, and I feel like nostalgia is like a big reason why that movie is what it is and what you remember it to be. But if you take the movie on the merits of just the narrative being told and whether or not you're seeing something new or different, I just feel like Thunderbolts went places that we haven't seen the MCU going, and the way that they resolved the conflict at the end was also very unique to this genre of movie. And I feel like those things edge the movie out for me over the nostalgia of who is my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. But I think it edges out just a little bit for me.
No, I disagree. I disagree on a couple of fronts. Now, I think that they're pretty close. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I think Spider-Man No Way Home is the best Spider-Man movie. Mm-hmm. So that's number 1. Number 2, it's not just the nostalgic factor. Peter literally lost his entire life. He is just Spider-Man now, if we're being honest.
That's true.
And we got to explore some deep emotional things happening there as well. You know, we really almost saw Peter become the worst version of himself when he almost killed Norman. And the performances we see out of everybody, like, even there were way too many moments in Spider-Man that made me gasp than Thunderbolts.
I just feel like part of that, maybe not just the nostalgia, but seeing that Spider-Man is like one of the most popular heroes of all time, and all the nostalgia that comes from all those characters that you're seeing, like, why are you gasping?
Then also with Doctor Strange being thrown into the whole mix, like, it's just not something I was expecting either.
That was pretty dope.
And whatnot. And whereas the Thunderbolts, I feel like it's just this is what I don't like about these type of tiers. I don't think that they exist in the same plane, because I think it's doing something completely different.
But to me, that's the thing that elevates it. When you have the superhero genre, and the superhero genre does a couple things, like Spider-Man No Way Home is mostly unique in the aspect that it is using all of that nostalgia, bringing back different versions of Spider-Man that we've seen in different movies, bringing back different Spider-Man villains that we've seen in different movies, putting them all in the same movie and making it a multiversal story. That's the new factor of that. But that's also the old factor of that. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. And they did a great job with the nostalgia, and I love the nostalgia, and it was a little bit of what we needed at the time. But if I'm looking at the best movie since Endgame, and I'm thinking about it in terms of doing something new, doing something original, doing something unexpected, Thunderbolts is kind of knocking that out the park. And I feel like in order for us to really have this discussion, we do got to take it to spoiler territory.
Well, I think Thunderbolts is, like you said earlier, better compared to Guardians, because I really think it is that ragtag misfit thing, the found family. It's just like, it's a lot of characters competing with each other. Whereas like something that's a solo movie like Spider-Man, even though we got other different Spider-Mans, it's still about Peter's journey. Sure. And then we threw in Doctor Strange and and other people into the mix. Sure. Right? I mean, I guess that's what I mean.
I mean, you know, if you don't want to compare them, then you don't want to compare them. But if you want to have the conversation about what's been the best Marvel movie since Endgame, I think that this has a great case to be made. The Thunderbolts has a great case to be made. All right, before we go spoilers, give it a grade. And I'll do mine first, because I did say that if I gave Captain America Brave New World a B-, which I do have to give it, considering when I saw it I did enjoy it, but B- for sure, I can give Thunderbolts a solid A.
I'm actually in the same camp.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Both grades?
Yeah, B- is not bad.
No,
I really love that movie. Yeah,
a B-, yeah, it's a good movie.
But like, you know, I feel like there were certain, like, elements of it, you know.
They spoiled the Red Hulk part.
Yeah. Oh God,
I do feel like that movie is probably a B or even an A- if you don't go in it knowing that he's going to become the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
If you only have a thought that, like, this could happen, then, like, when you get it, oh, my God, that would have been like, fuck.
Yeah, totally agree.
But, yo, spoiler territory?
But now we are going to tread into the spoiler
This is
waters.
big spoiler alert.
Big spoilers.
If you don't want to know about the depths of everything that happens in the Thunderbolts, including the post-credit scene, which we'll talk about at the end, then, like, don't listen to the rest. Hit pause, bro. Go listen to some music, go run, or just go to fucking theater right now and go see Thunderbolts. And then on your way out, you just hit play right here. Let's get into spoiler territory, because I think the new Avengers has a strong case to be made that it's been the best movie in the MCU since the last Avengers movie. I think it has that. I think it has the legs. I think it's done something totally different. I think Sentry, totally different. The Void, totally different. Yeah. How they solved the problem of the Void, totally fucking different. Yelena Belova, dope. 2 Captain America ass niggas in there with Red Guardian and motherfucking John Walker. I'm cool with that. Ghost was definitely bringing a different flavor, but you pissed off because they killed Taskmaster.
Spider-Man No Way Home was a different way to defeat the monster. First of all, he didn't defeat the villains. He cured them despite the fact that he lost his aunt from it. And then on top of which, when all of the villains were still coming through, his way of saying we should defeat this is everybody should just forget who I am. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You're trying to sit there and say that Spider-Man No Way Home was fitting some sort of formula?
I didn't say it was formula.
You said the Marvel, like, and then you were like, this is a different way. No, they're both different ways, and I agree. And I'm going to tell you right now, Void, you were right. Void was definitely terrifying, considering the fact that Void himself didn't kill anybody. And we're still sitting here like
no, you thought they was dead, though. You had no idea when he was banishing niggas to the Shadow Realm what that actually meant. And I think it is terrifying not knowing. But then even when you find out what he did to them, you trap them in a room of their worst trauma.
Bruh.
He trapped them in their worst trauma. That's pretty fucking terrifying. But when it comes to how the problem is solved, in Spider-Man No Way Home, the problem still had an element of we do gotta beat these niggas' asses to solve the problem. Yeah, we're gonna cure them, but we gonna beat their ass. Thunderbolts did not have a solution that was beating somebody's ass. In fact, Sentry looked at Void and was like, "I'm finna beat your ass," and the Void is like, "Go ahead, nigga, because if you beat my ass, you gonna become the Void." But what solved the problem in Thunderbolts? It was a hug.
Yeah. 2 wildly different things than we're
crazier.
used to.
That's way crazier. That's way crazier.
No.
And the team, way crazier. And the Sentry whooping all their ass by himself, way crazier.
So you're telling me there's no other time in the MCU history where affection didn't stop a villain?
Can you say that again? What did you just say to me?
That there hasn't been, a time in the MCU history where affection, like a hug, didn't stop a villain. I'm pretty sure somebody got hugged before.
What?
And it was stopping them. I'm trying to think.
What solution to the movie was a hug before this one? What solution to the movie was, you are not alone? That was the solution.
Guardians was holding hands.
Holding hands so that they can harness the power of this stone that's going to totally vaporize this nigga. They vaporized him. He dead.
But it was out of love and affection.
It was a loving vaporize. Yeah, I will give you that. But they vaporized his motherfucking ass. And who else? Whose was it love?
Captain Marvel, it wasn't? It wasn't her apologizing and taking accountability?
In the first one?
No, the Marvels.
In the Marvels...
Or did they end up having to kill her? I think they did.
They was definitely whooping her ass, but they had to close the hole in space, and then my homegirl Tiana Paris left herself in the other universe. But I still feel like part of it was they was whooping on that one girl ass. That's how you know that this one, that was a B movie if you don't remember the end as much.
No, I'm just like...
But it wasn't a hug. I'll tell you for a fact it wasn't no damn hug. I remember that. I'd have been like, oh yeah, the ladies are just hugging. No, my favorite part of that movie was when the Flurkins ate everybody. Yeah. That's the thing that stick out to me about the Marvels every single time. Let the Flurkins eat you.
Oh, okay. Here was something that we were discussing because it came up in the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Is that this has to do with the end credit scene.
Okay. We're going there.
We know that Sam Wilson has his own Avengers, and he's already copyrighted it.
Yes.
So who's in Sam Wilson's Avengers?
Because the new Avengers are Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, fucking John Walker, U.S. Agent, and Ghost. Mm-hmm. So just 5 of them. Bob is there. Bob is there, but Bob is not bobbing right now.
Bob will only come out if it's necessary, and Doom is going to be a necessary.
Doom is going to be what makes Bob put the Sentry
Bob
back on.
Bob is in there. Bob is the asterisk right now.
All right, Bob on the new Avengers roster. But then who's on the Avengers roster?
So my first one,
Sam Wilson.
My first initial feeling would be Scott Lang.
Well, Falcon first. You got to get
Falcon. Yeah,
Falcon is. 100%.
I mean, you left Brave New World knowing that they're a duo right now.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So Falcon. I do like Scott Lang though. That's a choice out of left field, but he is in Doomsday.
It wasn't because
they have history.
Who was responsible for bringing him on Cap's team?
They have history.
It was Falcon. So Falcon been recruiting this man. So yeah, that makes sense.
It's just funny to me that you said him before Falcon because
I guess because I already
so
think he's already there. When I say Batman, I don't always say and Robin. Like,
all right, but who else is on Sam Wilson's Avengers team other than Scott and Falcon?
Baku.
Baku is not going to be an Avenger.
I thought he was.
Baku is going to be the king of
Wakanda. You don't think
and Shuri is also not going to be an Avenger. They're going to be decidedly Wakanda.
Okay.
I think they've always been like, would you say that Black Panther was an Avenger in any movie that he showed up in, or was he just Wakanda? And then the Avengers was like, hey yo, BP, can we pull up to Wakanda?
Yeah,
it's a whole bunch of niggas happening over here. Can you give Bucky an arm and shit? He was an Avenger.
Everybody that showed up that
everybody that showed up there
symbol,
was the honorary Avenger, but that don't mean
that's why I'm sitting there thinking it. That's why I think it should be out of left field.
Do you think that Shuri is gonna work with them? It's like that's what it comes down to. Avengers Doomsday is looking like it's about to be 4 different teams of heroes trying to jockey for power and figuring out who's in charge, and then figuring out the Doom problem. Because the 4 teams are the Avengers, the New Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the motherfucking X-Men.
Okay.
So there's gonna be some sort of, we know from the end credit scene. Again, y'all been watched Thunderbolts. By the time you listen to this part, end credit scene, you see the Fantastic Four coming into the universe.
Yeah.
And they're probably gonna be the New Avengers are looking at that. Do you think the Avengers are looking at that too? Do you think all of them meet up with the Fantastic Four together and trying to figure out what the fuck y'all are doing in our universe now? Why are y'all here? Type shit. And then where do the X-Men come in? Because those X-Men are in a different universe, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if the beginning is of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the New Avengers figuring shit out, and then either midway or towards the end is when the X-Men join it. It's gonna be one of those things like No Way Home, where it's like, oh, people kind of knew that the other Spider-Man would show up, but we didn't kind of know when.
Is it not peculiar that there's not a chair for Tiana Paris?
Yeah, I was
Considering that
wondering, I didn't
Monica
know.
Rambeau is in a different universe and she ran into Kelsey Grammer Beast, so it's reasonable to assume that she's in that universe.
She might just be showing up in Secret Wars. They might be breaking this up.
Mm.
Because you saw how many people are already
There's a
in
lot
it.
of niggas in the movie. No, I understand that. I definitely understand that. But there's also a lot of people that's not. And everybody's like, where are they at? And why are they not here? And how are they going to get wrapped up into it? I have a feeling that you have to be involved a certain amount to have gotten a chair for that casting call. But I have a feeling that there's a couple more people that are going to have to show up based on the narrative. Like, Monica Rambeau has to be there somewhere, right? She has to, at least. She would be a person who I would be like, she going to end up on the Avengers. She would be with the Black Avengers. Because Sam is the Black Avengers, you know? He going to pull all the minorities. So, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Shuri Black Panther is on that Avengers team. Let's fuck it. Fuck it. Who else? Who was on his Avengers team?
Because as well, I said M'Baku.
You did, but M'Baku is the King of Wakanda.
Well, because I was thinking...
He's not going to be an Avenger. He's going to be King of Wakanda.
I saw the picture of them because they all went and saw... The people that are filming right now went and saw the Thunderbolts together.
Indeed.
And so I'm thinking about the people I saw in that picture that I was like, I wonder who it could possibly be. Yeah.
Who's in that picture?
Should I pull it up?
You should pull it up.
Yeah. Oh.
Things people want to know.
Swag is streaming.
Oh, that's nice. I wonder if he got the setup going. I was showing Knives the dailies for Game Chat when he popped in. Mm-hmm. And so he could see the situation. He saw Swag setup and he like, bro, Swag need to be streaming more because he got this setup, bro. He got the full setup. It's nice.
Well, yeah, it was, I remember, I was like, Channing Tatum.
That's who went to go see Thunderbolts together.
This is the picture.
So fucking Thor and Channing Tatum and Simu Liu. Was his chair there?
Mm-hmm, he was.
And Scott Lang. And that's Robert Downey. And then that's motherfucking Evan Moss-Baccarin. Yeah. And that's, who's that?
Is that not Invisible Woman?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's Invisible Woman. That's M'Baku. And that's fucking Sam Wilson.
Said,
Damn, that's why you said you really think M'Baku finna be an Avenger.
Yeah. So then we had two of the Fantastic Four. Shang-Chi would make somewhat sense.
Shang-Chi's 100% gonna be on Sam Wilson's Avengers. I feel like Sam Wilson...
Thor's there.
I think Thor's also going to 100%
be
in Sam Wilson's Avengers. I think Sam Wilson is going to be the one who has all the legacy characters involved. And so if he gets involved with Hulk, we know Hulk is the one who was with Carol, and they both were talking to Shang-Chi at the end of Shang-Chi's movie. So the fact that Carol's not in this movie is also fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is she? Where the fuck are the Marvels? Where the fuck are they? Are they all separated? They said Miss Marvel was in L.A. Mm-hmm. They said that in Daredevil. And we also saw her talk to Kate Bishop about...
San Francisco.
In San Francisco? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, in New York. My bad.
Yeah, in New York.
Cassie Lang is San Francisco.
Cassie Lang is in San Francisco, yes. And we think that they're going to go there because she was like, did you know Ant-Man had a daughter? Like, she said that. So she's setting up the Young Avengers, but I think that working title for the series right now, because it is a series that they're working on with those characters, is Champions.
Oh, that rings a bell.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. So I wonder if that's gonna have anything to do with everything that goes down. Like, I wonder how much stuff is gonna start building towards Doomsday, or if Doomsday is really gonna do like a status quo change, that there will be other content that comes out after Doomsday before Secret Wars that's like in that new status quo. That's what people are trying to figure out about the new Spider-Man movie, because it does come out after Doomsday. So
they're gonna fucking Far From Home us?
Is Spider-Man's whole movie taking place on Battle World, or like, don't nobody know what's gonna happen? Like, shit is getting absolutely crazy. But to get back to Thunderbolts, because yeah, we started talking about Thunderbolts, and like, that movie is deep, low-key.
It's really deep. No, I was sitting there and it was like, y'all are gonna hear me be unhinged in the next, following
in the bonus
this.
section.
In this bonus section, our night there, which includes us talking about Sinners.
We're just gonna put the whole
we'll just have it going after this. That makes the most sense. Yeah, you get to hear raw unfilteredness. So the past 2 weeks, we've just been all over the place with these recordings, huh? We've had like Fridays and then
had to do Sunday for Sinners.
Which, P.S., amazing.
Sinners was fucking fire. That was
my
what my
God.
idea for the fucking, because last time we were like, we're about to go, and then we went. And then it's been a week, and it's still, motherfuckers need to go see Sinners.
It's still stuck in my brain.
100%. That's another reason why you need to get A-list, because it's coming back in IMAX.
Oh, shit, yeah.
They're bringing it back in IMAX. And the internet was talking about that, too, because there was this whole, like, and this is funny, and it's sort of related. There was this whole, like, people talking about we should boycott the Thunderbolts so that we could have Sinners in IMAX longer. And so many people had to learn the hard way that, like, bro, you don't want to boycott this movie because you want to see that movie. In fact, you wouldn't end up being able to see that movie if it weren't for movies like this one. That man, Ryan Coogler himself, brought home several billions of dollars making AAA, big budget Marvel fucking movies, and that's what gave him the carte blanche to be able to go to a studio and be like, I want to make this movie.
His first original idea.
Let me make my shit. I won't say his first original idea. I wouldn't say that.
I thought that was the article I had read, that Sinners was one of his first original idea. Like, completely written by him, like, story by him and everything. And that's what made it so scary.
Articles probably saying that to be like, yeah, this is the first time Coogler went to do something like this for this budget. But, like, I just don't like the phrase first original idea, because somebody as creative as him has had plenty of original ideas.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And then that's a big budget film. But, yeah, obviously.
First original big budget film.
I also read that Metallica song 1 was also the inspiration. So
I think I saw that article too, for sure.
I went to go listen to that song, and I read the lyrics, and it is about coming back from war, and I was like, yeah, I'll just definitely see these characters in these lyrics. It's really cool how creativity feeds into each other like that.
And how inspiration works. Mm-hmm. You see something or you hear something, and you're like, that just sparked something.
Mm-hmm. I remember in art class when we were doing figure drawings, I don't know why, but I would just write lyrics when I was really feeling it, of songs I was listening to while I was drawing. Mm-hmm. And it ended up becoming a whole thing, because we would walk around and see everybody's stuff, and people noticed my lyrics. And so by the end of the school year, people were putting their own lyrics and stuff on their own art.
Look at you being all influential.
And yeah.
Taking care of shit.
Music's definitely a huge inspirational motivator for not just creativity.
No, indeed. That's why people clean their house, the music and shit. It just gets the
Working
body
out.
moving.
You know?
It's a goddamn Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, gotta be smooth. Why are we recording a podcast on a fucking Thursday night, Boots?
Yeah, why are we recording this podcast on almost, May 2nd, but it's May 1st, 2025?
Almost. It'll be May 2nd by the time we're done.
What huge nerdy movie possibly came
Thunderbolts! Oh my god. You guys.
So yeah, I don't know if I can get further into this without the fact that I'm still kind of upset. There's only one thing that upsets me about this movie.
Let's talk about it.
They killed Taskmaster immediately.
What the fuck was up with Taskmaster?
Like, immediately. And I was like, we went into this, I'm like, I'm really excited to see more of Ghost and Taskmaster, especially Taskmaster. I said that to you.
You did. We were like, we ranked the characters about who we knew the most about and were most excited to see going in. And then both of us kind of agreed that, like, it would be really cool to see them characterize this version of Taskmaster. I'm like, they're going to be quippy?
Nothing.
Are they going to be this cool? Are they going to be kind of like, Anthony Masters? Or
she was looking dope, too!
The costume was sick.
So upset.
The costume was sick.
And her fight, I was so excited.
I'm
like, I'm excited to watch her, like...
She did get a good fight scene. The blocking, like, she did get a good fight scene.
I was excited to see her adapt to everybody, like, fucking fighting. And then watch her Leela everybody out. I was so upset that they robbed me of that and I thought she could have been cool. That's, like, literally my only gripe with this entire fucking movie is that Taskmaster died immediately. Like, they have a good fight
That
down
shit
there.
was,
The only
man.
time you ever see her in the trailer, because I was not trying to pay attention to it. Because
Yo, and that's
I
like
literally
the
try to go
internet.
to all movies knowing as little as possible, so
But
I
the
can just
internet
watch
knew,
it.
and the
See,
internet
this is why I don't
talked
live on
about
the
it.
internet.
From the
This is why I
first,
don't live on the fucking
from
internet.
the first trailer that came out, everybody seen Taskmaster, and it was like, you notice you only ever see Taskmaster in that one scene. And then now me, of course, being like into filmmaking and be watching like the press tour and shit, so I can hear the filmmakers talk about the film. You notice that like, oh, that actress is not on the press tour. She's not nowhere around. And so like the fans put the shit together like very quickly. They're like, no, Taskmaster's gonna die very early in this film. Probably the first act. I don't think anybody thought that she was gonna die like right there, like that. That shit was sick. You put a bunch of killers in a room. I guess it makes sense that somebody has to die. Put one more killer in the room. But that's Taskmaster. She going now. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Sentry. I knew going in. I said this shit on the pod, actually. I did. That Sentry is gonna be the one.
Yeah.
That he was gonna be a reason to watch this, and that people are gonna come out of this movie being like, yo, Sentry's fucking dope. Why is Sentry so dope?
I think the entire story surrounding Sentry is why Sentry is dope. I think so because it was an incredibly powerful story.
Yeah.
Who's the antagonist in this story? Because there is an answer, and it means two different things, but it is one word. What was it?
Depression?
No. Shorter. 4 letters. It's the other half of Sentry. What is it?
Oh, Void?
Void.
But it's the Void.
It's the Void.
You threw me off with the 4 letters.
But... Well, yeah, because we have that technicality that there is a word. Yeah, sure.
The antagonist is the Void.
But it's not just Sentry's Void. It's everybody's void.
No, the Void shares his void with everyone.
It starts at the beginning. The very first thing that Yelena is saying is she feels nothing. And my blood ran cold because one of the books I wanted to write, and I don't feel like I can write it now because now it feels cheesy. It was called There's a Void Inside Me. And it was talking about depression in the ways of how it's numbing. It's not just sadness. It's just pushing everything down and numbing it. And watching this, I think, resonated so strongly with me is because I can remember many times just sitting and just with a blank stare, just getting back into one of my rooms. And it was a very visceral way of conveying being stuck in your trauma, being stuck in his case, his addiction too, and her addiction, being stuck in all the bad things,
being stuck
that
in the worst moment,
in the worst moments in your life. And it's just like I remember the rooms I was in when things had happened. I remember being stuck in that moment that I can't remember the words of things, but I can remember how the light looked on windows and such. And I think this movie's so good because it is so very terrifying. Because when you saw that little girl disappear, did you sit there and think that she was fucking gone? Like,
my heart sunk.
Sat there and thought about how I felt when Bucky got dusted in Infinity War. It was the same feeling. And then to know she's not actually gone, she's stuck in her trauma. She's stuck in her room. And she's young enough that maybe it is just one room right now. And I remember it took me back to a time in my life where I'm still stuck in this room, where I was writing in a green notebook, where I was like, I'm giving myself back to the darkness because being in the void is much more comfortable and something I know than it is to heal from it. And the Thunderbolts become the new Avengers and not the Dark Avengers.
Which I thought they were 100% going to be the Dark Avengers.
Because they're not sitting in the void anymore. They're trying to heal past it. I've just felt like this movie was incredibly powerful with more than just what's the enemy, And sometimes the enemy is inside of us.
Yeah, it's crazy that feeling like this movie's lesson is like literally the lesson that I have been learning. And then it's right here personified in this beautiful story about broken people who feel like they're the worst they could be and don't see any way out of it. But somebody is telling them that no, the way out of it is together, is with each other.
I think what's powerful too is that it really shows people in the gray. They're not heroes, they're not villains, you know, because villains tell you you should take the darkness inside you and learn how to work with it, and that's how you're going to be better, right? Heroes are like, that doesn't really exist inside me per se, right? And the people that are kind of stuck in the middle, which I think are a lot of people in this void, in this limbo, are the people that are like, I know what it's like to be over here and work with the darkness, and I would like to be able to move forward despite it. Use it as a tool to humble and be grateful for, but not make it a part of me. And it just felt like this is really deep.
It's really deep for a superhero movie with niggas whooping each other's ass and cracking jokes, and Sentry got on a costume with the motherfucking blonde hair and the waves back, Bob. And they like, yo, wait, did you dye your hair? And he's like, yeah, we got the, well, Val, and then he proceed to beat the brakes off these niggas. Like, there's nothing they could do. There's nothing they could do.
What did he do though? When they got in the elevator,
he let them go.
He was like, they're not a threat to me. This isn't the point. This isn't the point.
Like, why would I listen to you? And then, like, be like, the whole, oh, man. No, Sentry, he's the one, bro.
I think he
is the one.
The other thing is, they end it with, first of all, he's like, you can't have the good part of me without the bad part. I'd rather be in the middle. I did the dishes. He also shows peace and tranquility in the storm, because that's what that looks like. I know what the simple things in life are the best things, not the extremes. And the fact that he can't remember, because that's another thing that a lot of people don't really attribute to trauma and working past trauma, is that some people that have gone through the worst of it can't remember this. They just can't. Oh my god, it's just the layers of how, like, this movie is the only reason it's not an A+ is because of the fucking Taskmaster. I'm telling you, that's the only thing that pisses me off.
Man,
because I'm sitting here thinking, did Sentry kill anybody? Because we kept assuming he was. Do you know how?
And once you realize that it's just people having to live through their trauma, which is kind of
people
terrifying.
Are just in the darkness.
But at least they're not dead. Like, they all come back once all the darkness went away.
But did you notice you have the same anxiety as the people who got dusted, though? And they didn't die. They didn't even die. Like,
it just feels like it could be death, because you could just be lost in the void.
I just worry about the ramifications. How many people relapsed because of that? Like, that's where my brain goes, especially now that we've been in this rocket ship. Like, how many people...
He hasn't done not bad.
Bro, like,
just because it got undone.
How many people did he inadvertently kill because they had to go back through their trauma?
Did they die, though?
If they came back from that and then they started using again, they started, like... some people may have
dark places,
committed suicide. I mean, you have to, like... because we talk about... like, the ramifications of people, like, in the Avengers, right? Because we see the physical ones, like, people's, like, houses get destroyed, cars are thrown, like, how many civilians probably died from something that fell?
Yeah, people.
But,
there are casualties. Ross did tell them the numbers of most of the movies in Civil War that we've seen. He was like, yo.
There's these many casualties, but, like, Sentry didn't technically kill anybody except whatever the helicopter crashed into and stuff. Those people in that helicopter probably died, but, like...
Did they?
The helicopter crashed.
They are shadows, though. They're shadows in all of the darkness.
Okay, then we go back...
Who knows where Bob would put them back when they left the darkness? Why you trying to put out my nigga Bob, bro? He ain't did nothing to nobody, but he did a little meth that one time and was a chicken and was whooping nigga ass with the sign.
That brings back the question of, like, freaking Infinity War then. Like, you know, when people were in, like, airplanes, what happened to them if they came back after being dusted?
See, you know, I feel like that all depends on who made the wish. Now, you're talking about Bruce Banner, one of the smartest people in the world. And so when he's snapping his finger to wish all those people back with Tony's gauntlet, he's going to think about and consider a way to format this wish with which it's going to bring back all the people that got dusted. So if they was in the plane and got dusted, they just going to be on the ground where the plane was near when they got dusted. And they gonna be like, yo. And they gonna be just next to a bunch of niggas in front of a deli. And they gonna be like, I was just in a plane, but now I'm at the deli. You saw how Yelena was snapped and unsnapped. Like, they're gonna have to be put back kind of somewhere where they could be kind of where they was at, kind of doing what they was doing.
Yeah, but, like, Yelena wasn't in a moving vehicle. Or, like, an airplane. So what, do people just appear in the airplane?
Nah, they just appear on the grass and they do a little tumble from the momentum of the airplane.
What?
And then they're like, I got brought back to life. You know, you gotta try to see the positive. You know, you gotta try to think that people would try to do like the best way that they could do the thing, and that they not going. You know, they put him in that Spider-Man where they fell down the band, but that was just funny.
Why did you like Sentry so much?
I like Sentry so much because he is the one. His whole ordeal is that he has all the power and all the strength, but he's dealing with the eternal darkness of this idea of being alone.
Yeah.
That no one can be with him. And all they had to do to defeat the person with Superman level powers was to give this man a group hug.
Was to love on this man.
I was definitely like, the tears almost came out.
Yeah.
They almost came out.
Same.
Good job, Thunderbolts. You almost got me. But like, bro, that's a good motherfucking movie.
I want to know your thoughts on the end credits scene, though.
First of all, Bob did the dishes. That's it.
I love Bob.
He did the dishes because he is the one. You know, sometimes you just gotta do that. Go do your dishes. You didn't do your dishes. Go do. I knew it though.
Nothing about the Fantastic Four.
I knew it.
You knew it was going to be the Fantastic Four?
I told you how I called it.
Oh, yeah,
because I'm a nerd. This is how I was doing. Y'all, we watch the credits, you know. We don't just watch the credits for the end credit scene, you know. When you're in the idea of making film, you start looking at all the actual credits, all the names of the people who did the stuff, or you start looking at the stuff. And y'all know I love music. If you don't know I love music, I'm telling you right now, I love music. I listen to not just rap music, and I don't just produce rap music, but hip-hop, rock, scores, classical, whatever you throw at me, man, I'm probably gonna find something that's like my jam. And so I'm looking at the songs and credits, because, you know, I like to see what the names of the songs in the movie was when I was watching a movie, and I heard a song that I'm like, maybe I didn't know, or maybe I did, but I don't know what that song name is. And if I see it in the credits, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what that song is. But then I seen it said the Fantastic Four theme in the credits, and so I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. And they didn't do too much, but, you know, I knew it. The only thing that I was kind of thinking about was it could be Doom. Like, there was a small part of me, but my brain was like, the next movie is the Fantastic Four, so it kind of has to be. They've been doing connectedness very early in this movie. There was like, yeah, the president turned into a Red Hulk. Yeah, we watched that movie too. We saw you on there, and so like the fact that they're connected to that one and connected to like and
then the shot
they're doing it
of the Washington Monument being, you know, reconstructed because he destroyed it.
They had a shot, man.
Yeah, they did at the beginning. One. Yeah.
Stuff you going fast. We gotta go see it again.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing it again.
See it again. You have to go see it if you have not seen it. Go see it. You shouldn't listen to this if you haven't seen it. We didn't spoil literally everything, but like definitely got deep for a moment, and like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. So
it's very deep. I was sitting there, you know, I was connecting it to my own life, and I'm sitting there thinking about how now I can really conceptualize my own trauma using rooms. Like, it's so deep, and it's making me feel incredibly creative right now with my own writing and drawing and things that I want to get out. And Thunderbolts did that. And that's why, if we want to talk about nostalgia, that's what Thunderbolts is going to become to me. It's going to become the thing that moves me forward. And that's why I like it so much, with the exception of the one thing that I very much bitch about already. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, now I gotta take it back, because if Thunderbolts is about to be this sort of milestone movie for you and understanding how to get past your trauma, how the fuck you not gonna put that above Spider-Man No Way Home? How the fuck how you not gonna put it above Spider-Man?
The early death really does do that to me. I think they could have done something better with that. Even if everybody's like, everybody assassin's gonna be in a room. There's no stake. No.
Well, look,
that's what would have made it more stakes. That's
like,
what would have made it more fucking stakes. Is make it like later after we love this fucking person.
So like at this point, we back after the thought. You heard both our thoughts, and so I'm kind of, I was with you initially, like with the impact of like, damn, she gone. She really didn't have no screen time, and maybe they could have gave her a little more screen time. But honestly, I got to the point of understanding and accepting the death.
No, I can't, because they took away the one thing I really wanted to see. I wanted to see her replicate other people's fucking fights. I wanted that.
I mean, you saw
a little bit of it
every
in Black
single
Widow.
move
I
that
want
she
to see
did.
her. No, I want to see her do more. I want to see her pull out Gamora shit. Like, I wanted to see her go fucking off. That would have been more impactful than whatever they did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to make powers look like anything. And then make her die. And then have her die at the very end.
Have her die at the end? Then where are the stakes for the rest of the movie? Where's the stakes for the rest of the movie?
That's the stakes.
What's the stakes?
Is that we lost something that could have been great, That's what I mean.
So hear me out, right? You send 4 people into a room that could kill each other. Somebody gotta die, first of all. Second of all, her Taskmaster's death was like a dark reflection and the elephant in the room the whole time that the rest of these people are kind of growing together. Like, damn, wow, we fucked that up, didn't we? Like, I was fucked up that I did that, wasn't it? Like, the growing of it, the straw that breaks the camel's back of it. And
I guess maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it's because it was my personal gripe with the fact I did really want to see more of her. We went into the movie
going
and
in, I was like, it's gonna be
see
interesting to see what they do with her. But like, what they did with her was like kill her and just be done with it. And that shit was interesting to see. I'm not going to lie, but that's not exactly what I thought they were gonna do. I was interested in seeing maybe Taskmaster's characterization. But the idea that that person is dead and now it opens up the chance for the actual Tony Masters to become the Taskmaster someday, I'm sure that appeases a lot of people who just didn't like the change. Even though ultimately I like the change when it's happening.
And also with this whole multiversal thing, with this whole like Secret Wars thing and shit like that, there's always possibilities to see characters in different ways, especially if you have them face off, like the 2 different Nick Furies looking each other in the eye. Like,
yeah, you trying to see White Nick Fury?
I'm just trying to like,
who plays White Nick Fury?
White Nick Fury.
Yeah, who you got for White Nick Fury?
Alan Richard. Am I saying that correctly? He was a Ninja Turtle. He was Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State. Is it Jack Reacher? No, it's not Reacher. That's Tom Cruise, I think.
I know you're talking about. Is this dude trying to vie to be Batman right now? Pull it up. Pull him up.
Okay. If you made him look like it, I think he's got the bone structure. I think he's got the range, but he's also got the acting or the action experience.
Yes.
Richson.
Yes, Alan Richson. I have been seeing.
Yeah.
People talk about him being. He should be like the DC Batman. Like people want him for. I think
the body
he's vying for it. Yeah. So, but that's your White Nick Fury.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's pretty young, huh? He's still pretty young.
Yeah, for that one.
Go for it. I would still go for it.
You don't want to just let David Hasselhoff do it again?
I didn't even know there was a first one. Like,
no, you're gonna have to look that one up. Oh. Just one time.
One time for the one time.